This morning I had a vision where I saw many of God's people with heavy hearts, and they were turning around behind them and looking at this season. They were looking at all that had happened in this season, and things they were still going through. Those constant cycles, hits, trials, pressure and longing for breakthrough. I saw many of God's people looking at the clock, and they were sighing loudly over such deep grief of feeling like so much time was lost and taken in this season through such vicious opposition and trial. I saw the word regret coming towards God's people, that through the entertaining of focusing on the disappointments, disillusionment, pain and grief of this season, that regret would take hold and bind them up in chains. I could hear the heart cries of God's people, "What did I do wrong, Lord? Where did I miss it? Where did I go wrong? What didn't I do to still be in this place of such deep hardship, pain and pressure? Please show me, Lord, what have I missed that has prolonged my breakthrough?" The more God's people were putting their eyes upon all the swirling heart cries of disappointment, grief, etc., I saw the enemy coming into those areas and feeding his lies and poisonous whispers. God doesn't want your breakthrough. The breakthrough is for everyone else but you. And if God's people agreed with these lies, I saw chains being formed around them. But then He came. He showed up in all His glory, all His majesty, emanating such love and freedom. He stood before His people with such compassion in His eyes. The truth of His heart was so loud, louder than the size of the past God's people were looking at. His eyes, full of such love, communicated so loudly. "I'm here. I am working all things for your good. I am righting wrong turns. I am unblocking delays. I am making your paths straight as you seek me and delve into my word. As you live laid down with your yes to me, I am bringing swift divine alignment. I am all for your breakthrough. I am breakthrough. Trust me." He then knelt down before them and spoke, "Lift up your eyes. Look at me. Renew your mind. Look at me." I could then hear 2 Corinthians 10 verse 5 being decreed all around. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. As God's people heard the truth of this scripture, I saw many saying, "I'm tired of fighting, Lord. I don't think I have the strength to keep fighting." Jesus bent forward and He blew upon them. Instantly strength and grace were imparted to them. I watched God's people begin to stand with their eyes wide open and full of revelation. They were staring right at Him, and I could see wonder and revelation being released to them. Without words, simply being in His presence, seeing His glory, they were being transformed. They were seeing Him in His goodness, His beauty, His kindness, His love and power. As the revelation knowledge of who He is began to fill them more and more, crash over them like a refreshing waterfall, they began to tear down the arguments that had raised themselves against the knowledge of who He is. Such deep healing, freedom and increase was taking place. I could hear in the Spirit, "You are being marked by joy." Hope was rising again. The confident expectation of what He is doing and what He is about to do. I could feel the joy so strongly, and I could see spirits bubbling with excitement, like having butterflies in their stomach. The flutters of transformation and new life. I then saw Jesus walk over to a clock, the very clock that many of God's people had been looking at with such deep grief, anxiety and sadness over time that was lost. I saw Him blow on the clock and suddenly the hands on the clock came alive. He touched the hands of the clock, and He began to move them back. I watched as time was going backwards. The sense surrounded me how the Lord is completely outside time. I knew so deep in my spirit, He was turning dark nights into day. As He moved the hands, He turned and looked at His people, with a sparkle in His eye. With such joy and excitement, He spoke, "I am redeeming time." Where you feel like time was lost, where the enemy has caused you to face so much torment in a season, where you feel like you did not get out of a season what I had for you, I am now redeeming time. Especially the hardship many of you have faced in the last 3 months, in the next 3 months, will be added back to you in blessing, increase, breakthrough, restoration, and healing. In the next 3 months, you will begin to see in greater ways the restoration of my hand for all that you have walked. All that was stolen. The next 3 months, I am setting the stage for some of the greatest breakthrough. Over the next 3 months, you will begin to take off. You will be set up for all that I am releasing. Nothing has been lost as I am the restorer of all things. I am releasing resurrection life and vindication, increase, healing and breakthrough to you. More opportunities will come to you in this next 3 months than all the closed doors of this season. You will see more added to you in this next 3 months and beyond than you lost over the last 3 months and this season. Rejoice! I am redeeming time.